Welcome, children. Today, let us see how to write an essay. In paper one, English paper one, which deals with the language, the first question is essay. And that essay should be written for 300 to 350 words. And the time allotted for that is 30 minutes. So let us see how to write an essay. I'll try to give some clues, some tips, which will help you to write an essay properly. Generally, there are three types of writers. Those who think before they write, those who think while they are writing, and those who think after they have written. So first of all, you think to which category you belong and make a proper preparation so that once you finish writing your exam, you should not think that I have made this mistake. I could not do like this. You should not regret on anything. These essays, if you write properly, that will fetch you good marks. The essay tests the ability to describe, narrate, report, explain, persuade, or argue. This also tests your ability to write well organized, clear, precise, and accurate English. This also tests your ability to produce logically planned, well laid out composition, which should be free from punctuation and spelling errors. So let us see. There are 6 types of compositions. First of all, let us see how to choose a composition, how to choose a topic, because you are given 5 topics. In the 5 topics given, you have one is narrative, one is descriptive, one is reflective, next is argumentative, another is short story, another is picture composition, like that. Out of that 5, any 5 types you will surely get. And you have to write any one of them. So first of all, let us see how to choose a topic. You pick up any essay, the marks allotted will be the same. You need not worry that I have to pick up only a difficult essay, then I'll get a better marks, or if I pick up a simple essay, maybe I'll be able to score marks. Don't worry about it. Let us see how to choose a topic first. You have to choose a topic which gives you the opportunity to write a complete and interesting composition. Because if you know the topic thoroughly, then only you can express your ideas, your experience, your opinion. All these things you can make it more clear. Generally, we find it more interesting when you read or experience real life things, isn't it? So we are delighted to hear or read such things. So always try to pick up such. You see the topic which interests you, because the topic which is interesting to you, if you pick up that topic, you will have more matter to write in that. You also see on which you think you have enough matter to write. You also see whether you have good ideas or you're not running out of ideas while writing the composition. You started, but you feel that I don't know what points to write there. You choose a topic on which you can write easily. You should be able to convince, You should have some knowledge of the subject. For example, once there was a topic given, your experience. What is your experience when you traveled by air? Uh, During the journey, the plane engine developed some problem, and what happened? Long ago, such a topic was given. And if you don't have any experience of this journey, that is uh, by air, how can you write? You don't have the basic knowledge of it. You cannot write. So don't choose such short topics. You try to choose a topic on which you can provide personal details. Your composition should look more like original one. It should be lively, like you have invented something out of that. A topic in where you can show your originality. Not that you have by-hearted something, or you have memorized something that you're trying to write. It won't be so effective. The topic, different topics given in the essay, they can be argumentative, as I told you, descriptive, narrative, factual, story. So you choose your topic carefully, which you want. And if you don't choose the topic, there will be loss of time because you will be only busy thinking. You should be able to select the topic in the given 15 minutes time. Before you start the exam, 15 minutes time is given to you to read the essay, to read the question paper. That time itself, you try to select the topic so that you can save a lot of time. Otherwise, half an hour is the allotted time for the essay, and you spend 15 minutes only to think what to write. It's a waste of time, isn't it? Half an hour means your examination is for 2 hours. And it doesn't mean that after half an hour you should not write. No. But try to restrict yourself. And then make a proper plan before you start attempting that question. Maybe if you feel that you may forget things, you turn to the last page, write rough there, and write down the points which you want to include in the essay. Make a sketch, list out your ideas. What should be the sequence? And always see that your ideas are original. And each point you can put them in one paragraph. Always try to be focused on the points. Do not get deviated from the topic. Try to convince. Arguments always should be convincing. When you have written down the points, you see whether all the points which you have written are relevant for this essay or not, for this topic or not. And then arrange them. Which point should be the first one, which should be the second one. Try to arrange them. Try to use appropriate quotations, idioms, proverbs, similes, and try to highlight the quotations. Maybe you can underline them with the pencil. Don't use too many. Just a few here and there will make it tasty, just like a dish. If a woman has many ornaments, at times that may not be very beautiful. A few, proper few which suit that person are there, that would make the person beautiful. In the same way, don't take too many things, too many quotations, too many idioms, too many proverbs. No. a few here and there. Then that will make it really readable, where people, the examiner would enjoy reading it. First of all, to uh, use these things, you should gain mastery over the language. Read different types of books, fiction, story, travel, history. Read newspaper regularly. Write down the difficult words which you come across, and try to improve your vocabulary as much as you can. You also need to be a good observer. Try to observe, try to absorb ideas around you. Try to learn from your own experiences. You need not write in hi-fi English, in simple English. Try to write in simple English, simple words, make short sentences. It's not necessary that you use tongue twisting words, very difficult words. You think then only I'll get marks. No. First of all, see that what you're using, you're sure about them, about their usage. The correct use of tenses, grammar, spellings, sentence construction, punctuation. If you keep all these things in mind, surely your performance will be better. Otherwise, you lose many marks only in these things. Your expression, your vocabulary, your presentation, your organization of ideas, all will show your linguistic proficiency, how good you are at this language. Especially the beginning of the essay should be interesting, original, and ending also. Yeah, you should come to a conclusion. It should end naturally, not all of a sudden it ends. If necessary, use some dialogues. Give your opinion if it is argumentative composition. Use active voice. Unless specifically there is no need to use a passive, use active voice or passive wherever as necessary, as it is necessary for you. Try to put all your statements in positive form. And unnecessary words, don't include at all, omit them. A sentence should not have any unnecessary word. When I say keep your sentences short, I mean like that because you don't make any mistake in that case. That doesn't mean that you should not write long sentence at all. You can write. And see that every word which you write is relevant and significant so that it is more effective. And if you have to choose the topic in a very intelligent way, don't choose unintelligently. Try to understand, read every question and try to understand and plan it properly. Don't exceed the word limit. The word limit is 300 to 350 words. Don't cross that limit. It should neither be less nor more. Don't use impolite or rude language. Try to be humble in your language. Using controversial statements, expressing strong views on political parties, persons, especially women, teachers, parents, senior citizens, anybody. will not be accepted. People would be hurt. So don't make any controversial statement in your essay. Don't write very long sentence where there are more chances for you to make mistakes. Short ones will always be better. See that the lines are linked with each other. Proper use of conjunctions. Break your essay into paragraphs, in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Otherwise, marks will be cut for that also. It can be 20 to 25% of the marks obtained. Don't keep on repeating the same word, same idea, same sentence many times in the essay. Many times you forget to cross the T. You write T anywhere in any word, T. You have to cross that word, cross that letter, T. You forget that. You forget to put the dot on I's and J's while writing. So don't do that. Take care. Overwriting. When any mistake is there, you try to correct it there itself. Illegible handwriting. You don't make your full stops very clear. And space between words is not very clear. All these things only will affect your marks. An essay needs to be covered where so many points you may have to cover. See that you cover all the parts. How you open, how you close, all these things are important. You can use the words actually, totally, absolutely, completely, really, constantly, continually, literally, unfortunately, ironically, finally, hopefully, etc. These are the words which you can use for giving emphasis. But many times, if the usage is not correct, they may give a opposite meaning, reverse. The meaning is lost completely. If you feel that you're not getting a flow while writing the essay, you can keep another method in mind. Like Rudyard Kipling has said, I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I know. Their names are what, why, when, and how, and where, and who. So there are 6 things which you have to keep in mind. Maybe when you're not getting what to write in your essay, ideas are not coming to you, come to your mind. Ask these questions: where, when, why, how, who, what. For example, you can say, in the winter, there's one topic. In the winter, where? Where did the winter show its effect? The winter season shows its effect on everybody, like nature, animals, human beings. You can draw a contrasting picture with summer or rainy season. When? Put a question when. When does the winter come? Obviously, after the monsoon season. We can focus more on various characters like human beings, animals, nature, etc. You can focus more on when do they feel cold, these people, different ones. Why? Put a question why to the topic. Why only these characters feel cold? You can write few sentences there. how. How do they express their feelings? Do they shiver? Do they tremble? Do they enjoy? Then put the question, who? Who would be likely be affected more by the winter or less by the winter? What are the activities? Put question what. What kind of activities go on in winter? What sports? So in this way, when you put these 6 questions, surely you will be able to write 2 sentences about each question, which is connected to winter, isn't it? Then use of senses. You can also gather ideas through 5 senses. Now, first is sight. That is see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. These are the 5 sense organs, no? So keep them in mind. So first you start with eyes, see. In the winter, what do you see? Maybe you can say rainbow appearing in the sky, people, how they are reacting to the cold weather, leaves trembling on the trees, water flowing from the mountain stream. Some description, at least 2 sentences you will be able to write. Same way, hearing. What do you hear? What sounds, when winter comes, what sounds, various sounds like fluttering of leaves, what sounds you can visualize connected to this topic? Touch. The sense of touch. You think of the sense of touch, especially in winter, when you touch water. And any other thing which you touch in winter is very cold, isn't it? So you can try 2-3 sentences there. Then smell. The sense of smell. The sense of smell makes you think about the blooming flowers, the freshness in atmosphere. It's not very sunny. You enjoy the sun. So you can write 2-3 sentences about it. Taste. The sense of taste makes you feel coldness of water or having a hot cup of tea or hot soup, something. Try to write, you enjoy that. So in this way, you will be able to write at least 2-3 sentences. At least 2 sentences you will be able to write when you put this question. First one, as I told you, where, when, why, how, who, what. Same way, 5 sense organs, 5 senses. Then also you gather some ideas. So in this way, try to organize all these and you can form the essay. You need to have a correct planning. Don't write them in a haphazard manner. You have to organize them in a meaningful way. The ideas which you write down also should seem logical. Otherwise, the examiner will not give you any mark. You have to be more careful about it, that your ideas are logical. Now, you can also think of some more suggestions when this topic comes, winter. You can also think which time of the day will suit you to begin this essay, this composition. Is it better to start with the dawn when the sun rises? River water looks misty. Think of like that. Think something like that. You can describe the characters of adult, students, animals. Describe their feelings, their behavior, their attitudes, their reaction to the weather. Describe the activities of the winter. People finding warmer places. to keep themselves warm, places for warming themselves, animals trying to find shelter. How do the students feel to go to school? You see people sipping tea. How is the traffic on the road? So in this way, you can think of some things. You can visualize the whole thing, just like you're trying to see through your camera, your eyes. You begin with sunrise, sunlight, how it is, water flowing from the stream, cold waves, children going to school, people finding places to warm up, animals seeking shelter, traffic on the roads. So all your observation of things, people, and places, you can put it on the paper. Try to bring in contrast the river scene, the mountain stream with the noisy road traffic. Try to compare and contrast. You can think of water birds like swan, ducks with the mist in the water. So in this way, you can use all these ideas to write the topic, any given topic. You can also use another method. That is power writing. It's known as power writing. Power writing is when you split that word power, P-O-W-E-R. P stands for plan. Before you start writing a composition, choose a topic correctly, carefully, based on your interest and knowledge. Then collect a list of points you want to include in your composition. Organize. Next is organize. O, power, P-O. Organize your points in 3 categories: introduction, body, conclusion. As I told you, you should break it into paragraphs, surely. And try to write your essay in these 3 points based on 3 categories. That is, introduction should be there, body of the essay should be there, conclusion should be there. So POW is there, over. Plan, organize, write. Next is edit. You have to edit your composition by reading it again and again for any errors related especially to facts, spellings, and grammar, especially spellings and grammar. Then revise, revise. Revise your composition by giving it a final reading so that it becomes error-free from your side. Let us see some phrases, some words which you can use to express your thoughts and ideas. They are words and expressions that will help you. If you want to express additional information, you can use words like again, also, and then, not then, and then, besides, equally important, finally, furthermore, in addition to, moreover, next. These words or these phrases you can use. If you want to show comparison, there, also, in the same way, likewise, similarly, you can use such words. If contrast is there, then you use although, even though, and yet, even so, despite that. And you want to emphasize certainly, indeed, in fact, of course. You can use these phrases or words. Any illustration is there. For example, for instance, namely, specifically, that is, these words can be used. If it is conclusion, in conclusion, indeed, in short, of course, does. In this way, you can use these words. If it is summary, then as has been said, finally, in brief, in short, on the whole, therefore, to summarize, you can use these kind of words or phrases. It is time sequence. Then, after a while, afterward, again, also, and then, as long as, at that time, eventually, formally, in the first place, in the past, lately, meanwhile, next, presently, simultaneously, since, so far, soon, lately, subsequently, then, thereafter, to, until now, when. These words or phrases can be used. So these were different phrases and words you can use while writing a composition. And I also tried to give some tips, different methods which you can follow while writing an essay. Now let us see what are the different types of compositions. As I told you earlier, the first one is narrative. A narrative composition, it contains the narration of an event or a series of events. When you say narrate, means you have to give an account of or to relate what you have seen, what you have witnessed, something from your own experience. Maybe you're asked to narrate a story, real or imaginary. You should not get it confused with a short story or history. What can be the topics for narrative compositions? It can be historical events or legends. It can be biographies. It can be incidents, some accident or natural disaster or calamity. What is a disaster or calamity like? It can be tsunami, earthquake, flood, drought, shipwreck, etc. Journey by voyage, a real or imaginary one. A visit to a place of interest. When some imaginary thing is given, like, for example, an alien came to meet you, what happened? You just narrate as you have experienced everything. Use your imagination the best you can. What you have read, what you have seen, maybe in a cartoon or in a movie or anyway, what you have seen. Just pick up some ideas from that. Ultimately, it should not look that, yeah, this child has written the story of so-and-so movie or so-and-so cartoon. You make the necessary changes there. And don't write at the end that, I was sleeping. My mother woke me up and I realized that I was dreaming. No, it's not dreaming every time. You're asked to write the thing as you have experienced. So there is no, if you write like this at the end that I was dreaming, where it is not necessary, they did not ask you to dream. They said you have to write that you have encountered this, narrated. In that case, you need not write it as a dream. If you write like that, again, 25% of the marks achieved will be cut. So don't write like that. You have to be careful. So as I told you, for any composition, the introduction, the body of the composition, and the conclusion. So that chronology should be kept in mind, that chronological arrangement is necessary. Try to make it impressive in the beginning. You can use some stories, some humorous quotes, some dialogues, something to make it more impressive. Give your personal touch, like comments and emphasis in your narration. The narration should have the description of the place, people, things to make it more interesting. Try to imagine and visualize properly and to try to write creatively. And long, irrelevant, uninteresting details will not fetch you marks. Try to end your composition also in an interesting way. You have to reach to a conclusion. The examiner should not feel that because you don't have any more ideas, so you're ending the topic here. The ending also should be very expressive. You can use certain expressions like first, second, next, finally, at last, consequently, as a result, at length, soon, immediately, then, afterwards, after a few days, etc. These kind of words you can use in narrative essay as per your requirement. And use them. If you are thorough, then only use them. Otherwise, that will spoil the composition. The second one is descriptive composition. Descriptive composition requires every detail. You may be asked to describe a person, place, or thing. It can be description, you can categorize them as animals and plants, towns, countries, buildings, aspects and nature's blessings, such as tsunami, earthquake, summer, or anything. Here, the characters move, dance, sing, act, speak, have their own feelings, whichever character you're taking. You have to describe their appearance as well as their personality through their thinking and action. Details will be very important here. How you observe the things around you, that will be more important. You should have a good vocabulary, and you should have the ability to use good words so that it gives a clear picture. You can highlight your composition with sounds, smells, and movements, all these, the words connected to it. Like description, if it is description of an object. The description of object usually consists of name of the object, its class, whether it is scientific, mechanical, electric, electronic, the purpose it serves, its outward appearance, shape, color, size, material. availability, cost, commonly used or not, particular features or other features of its functioning, problem while using it, list down its parts, list down the key points of the object, comparison of the object to something else. What can be the object? Mobile, TV, computer. All these points you can include to describe the object. If it is description of a person, it's not very easy to describe a person until unless we don't see a person and we don't speak to them. Still, you can use certain points while writing about a person. The physical features, for example. Don't worry, even if you don't know, you can give something which looks little realistic, because the examiner will not go and measure all those things, isn't it? So the looks of a person, height of a person, shape of the body, color of hair, approximate age, etc. Dress, what dress the person wears. Like there's a who is the eldest person in your house? Describe the person. Then maybe your grandfather. If grandfather is not there, your father or your father's brother or your grandmother. So the dress they wear, how do they speak, their posture, their manners, or they have very strange habits, strange habit if they have, life history if you know about them, what are their interests, their family background, what is his or her position, interests, hobbies, reputation, how that person is able to impress others, and what are the others' opinion about this person. Compare, associate. That way, you can write about a person. All these points, if you keep in mind. If it is a description of a scene or a place, as told you earlier, use your five senses: sight, hear, touch, smell, taste. Use those five sense organs and try to what you see about that. What do you see? Like a view of the park. What do you see in the park? What do you hear in the park? What do you touch? What do you smell? What is taste? Maybe some things which are being sold in the park. That also you can write. Significant details about the scene, place, people, their actions will also add beauty to your description. It should be lifelike, like live you're showing what is happening in the particular scene. Try to write like that. Words, figures of speech, similes, metaphors, comparisons, all these would help you. To introduce, you should first have a general description of the scene, like, for example, a busy mall, a crowded railway station, landscape. You need to add details such as sounds, smells, shape, color, their effects on you. Your impression of the place will be different from others' description. Try to be original all the time. Give your feelings, reactions on seeing that place or thing. You may be happy, sad, disappointed, indifferent, amazed, puzzled. If you can recollect any past memory of the scene, try to include that also. Next is a reflective composition. It reflects on thoughts or on some topics which are generally abstract in nature. What are the areas of reflective composition? Habits, abstract qualities such as contentment, truthfulness, politeness, charity, thrift, greed, hunger, heroism, patriotism, honesty, loyalty, cooperation, bravery, industry, social, political, and religious topics such as riches and poverty, caste, democracy, liberty, government, family life, God, generation gap, education, marriage, business, all these also come under, all these topics also would come under the same. Philosophical subjects such as reality and consciousness, right, wrong, so many other things. You need to have mastery on political, social, religious issues before you attempt such topics. You should be able to use your own imagination, your thoughts, ideas, your perceptions. Try to rearrange them in a logical order. Try to make, as I have referred, as I have told you, try to make your beginning and end of your composition impressive. The whole composition should reflect your personality. What do you feel? What are your ideas? How do you think? Now comes the argumentative composition. In this type of composition, this is the fourth one. You're asked to argue for or against a given topic. You'll have to arrive to a conclusion. You can consider various aspects of the subject before giving a statement. If you're not interested, please don't attempt the topic. You should be sure and you should have sufficient information on the topic. You should not be confused yourself. You should give a balanced, the pros and cons of the issues, advantage, disadvantage, merits, demerits. You should be able to strengthen your views with the facts and figures. You should be able to argue on the point very clearly. And as usual, your composition should be impressive. And always keep in mind, your composition should be broken into paragraphs. At the end, you should take a stand. Yes, I agree to this. Yes, I agree, or no, I disagree. I'm for the topic or I'm against the topic. You should mention that in the conclusion, whatever you write. Whatever I mean, it's not, you don't write anything which is not connected to the topic. You should take a stand. That is necessary. Otherwise, marks will be cut for that. Then the next one is short story writing. Writing a story is different than narrating it, isn't it? Before you start writing, plan it to avoid any kind of confusion. Telling a story orally is different, but writing is different. Both are two different things. So, what are the important parts of the story? The plot. A good story must have a good plot, which leads to the climax of the plots which you develop. The beginning of the story must change by the time story reaches the end. The different characters. The story cannot move forward without the different characters. The readers read or the examiner should be able to recognize the characters as real persons. When we see a movie or when we read a story, they give such a realistic picture that we feel that person is real, isn't it? That way we also should be able to do. Whether they are heroes with good strength or they are villains with weakness, you have to portray the characters like that. The actions of the characters also should be clear. Dialogues should be there, powerful dialogues. Think if you can do all these things when you attempt this composition. There should be a proper atmosphere in the story, a setting for the story, whether it is forest, desert, places, houses, weather, characters are young, old, thin, fat. How are their looks, their voices, their mannerism, whether they cry, laugh, weep, dance, sing. All these things, they should look natural and lifelike. You should create suspense so that the reader should take more interest in reading it. Excitement, uncertainty, suspense, all these things you should be able to create. And language should be simple so that everybody is able to understand. The details about the characters, the incidents, setting, everything, try to keep it natural. A sense of satisfaction should be there for the reader when the one who reads your composition. So take care of that. And it should have an ending, a proper ending. Without ending, the story doesn't look nice. As I told you, for every essay, a good beginning and an interesting ending is necessary. The story should have some close touch with the reality. It should not look very superficial. It should look something original. It should have some purpose. Try to keep your language simple. The story must revolve around a good plot, character, setting, or atmosphere. And the plot must have all the suitable, necessary details. A good suspense, you should be able to build up good suspense. The reader must think what's going to happen next, what is going to happen next. That feeling should be there. What message you want to convey through the story, that you should make it clear. You must be able to build up the climax. The story must conclude in the end. So, a good beginning. If it is a good beginning, surely ending also should be good. That you have to take care. And the last one is the picture composition. Picture composition is also important question in paper 1. Every time it is given, one question is given. You have to study the picture, write a story or description or an account of what the picture conveys to you. Your composition can be directly about the subject of the picture, or you can take suggestions from that. So surely there should be a connection between the picture and your composition. It gives you 3 alternatives to write. You can choose any one, like a description of what you see in the picture. Description of what you see means it's not just that 5 boys are standing, there are 2 trees, or there is one bus. Don't give that kind of description. A proper description should be there. A story based on that picture, or an account of what the picture is suggesting you. As soon as you see the picture, what is your reaction? That you put it in the paper. Someone met with an accident and you're going to school or office, that picture is there. Think what you can do. A boy is pulling the cart with the person traveling in it. What do you feel? One person is telling the future of a person as a tarot card reader with the help of a parrot. You should be able to describe it. Look at the picture carefully. Try to get the main theme in it. Note the details of persons and things you find. It's not a difficult task to gather. You can also write a story. You can make your own plot of what you see in the picture. You can introduce yourself to the reader. Make the characters speak their own dialogues, which is connected to the picture. You can also, if necessary, you can also assume yourself as one of the character and narrate your own story. You can also enter into conversation with the other characters of the story. It should have emotions. What the picture conveys, that emotions should be seen. See whether the picture is serious or funny or what it is. The description should be based on the picture, not simply vague. You're free to express your feelings. Your feelings, your emotions may be full of happiness or sadness. You can identify yourself with some of the characters in the picture. Or you can just stir some of the nostalgic memory of your friend. You may feel maybe unhappy. You may feel sorry for a person or an animal. All kinds of emotions can be aroused in it. How you react to such things? Your attitude or your approach to that situation in the picture, try to make it always positive. For example, in the picture, a man has met with an accident. You're going to your school. Rather than helping the injured person to give first aid, you pass by without giving any attention. But what do you have to do there? Even if you pass from that place in a hurry to reach your duty, you have to try to help the person in some way. You can't leave the person. You can't be so inhuman. Like you can take him to the hospital, get him admitted there, inform his family, and tell them where the person is now. All this shows your positivity. You can also inform your office about your situation. If these kind of things are done, even the reader or the examiner will appreciate your way of thinking. So in this way, pay attention to every detail. The facial expression, the gesture, the clothes, the posture, everything. So that it's more interesting to read for the examiner. I hope this will help you to write your composition better. Apart from these tips, you should also read some essays. Make it a habit that you read every day one essay at least. Learn some new words from that, so that when you read so many essays, surely you will be able to write proper essay at the end. Bye, children.